So if you're running a US CPA firm, you already know that outsourcing to India is this huge opportunity just waiting to be tapped. But it always comes with that one big question, doesn't it? Can you actually do it without sacrificing the quality your clients expect from you? That's the tightrope we're going to walk today.
I mean, let's just be real for a second. This is the first thing that pops into your head, right? The minute someone says outsourcing, your next thought is quality control. It's that central fear, the thing that keeps you up at night, wondering if this move is going to damage the reputation you've worked so hard to build.
And that's the core dilemma, isn't it? You've got this incredible promise of lower costs on one side, more scalability, more time to focus on strategy. But on the other, there's this risk that your brand, which is built on years and years of trust, could take a serious hit. So how do you get all the benefits without the downside? Okay, so let's just dive right in and tackle this quality question head-on. The good news? There's a really clear strategic way to think about this, a framework for not just maintaining quality, but actually mastering it. And it turns out it all boils down to a surprisingly simple 6-part system. Yeah, just 6 steps. This is a complete framework that covers everything, from picking the right partner and standardizing your workflows to getting the tech right, nailing communication, and really integrating your teams. We're going to break it all down because this isn't about just hoping for the best, it's about having a solid system.
So the first 2 steps, these are all about building a rock-solid foundation. If you get these right, everything that follows becomes so much easier. But if you get them wrong, well, you're basically building on sand.
And here they are. Step 1, choosing the right partner. This is just non-negotiable. And step 2, standardizing your own processes before you even think about handing them off. Seriously, that consistency is the absolute key to quality control down the line.
Now, when you're looking for a partner, you have to be incredibly specific. They can't just be good. They have to be fluent in US GAAP and all the IRS regulations. They need a proven track record working with US firms. And this is super important. They have to offer something called white label services, which we'll talk more about in a bit. Okay, so the foundation is built. You've got a great partner, you have your standard processes locked in. Now, how do we connect the teams so they feel and operate like they're in the same building?
You see, the real distance between your in-house team and your offshore team isn't geographical, it's operational. And the way you close that gap is with 2 essential bridges, the right technology and a really disciplined communication strategy.
The right tech stack is basically the central nervous system for your whole operation. We're talking about cloud-based software so everyone's looking at the exact same numbers always. Project management dashboards so you have total transparency on who's doing what, and automation tools. These are great for knocking out those little repetitive tasks where human error tends to sneak in.
But all that tech doesn't mean much without a human rhythm to it. This isn't about sending random emails. It's about a predictable, reliable cadence. Think weekly calls to go over progress, formal monthly audits to actually measure quality, and jumping on a video call to hash out those tricky client issues that really need that face-to-face nuance.
So the final piece of this puzzle is all about integration. This is how you make sure the work doesn't just meet a standard of quality, but it meets your firm's specific standard. This is what makes the whole thing feel completely seamless.
And here's that term again, white label. This is so important. It just means that all the work, every report, every tax filing is delivered under your brand. So for your client, the experience is totally consistent. They're seeing the same quality, the same logo, the same everything they've always trusted.
And the really crucial point here is that this has to be a two-way street. You can't just hand over a procedures manual and call it a day. You have to actually invest in training your offshore team on your firm's specific templates, your compliance standards, and even your company culture. They need to become a true extension of your firm.
Okay, so the whole framework is in place. But I bet there are still some of those nagging what-if questions floating around. So let's just tackle the most common ones, rapid-fire style.
This has got to be the #1 question on every firm owner's mind, right? Will my clients feel a difference? Will they even know?
And the answer pretty clearly is no, as long as you're using those white label services. Like we said, this ensures every single thing your client sees looks and feels like it came directly from your in-house team.
This is a really practical concern. I mean, it's one thing to walk down the hall and check on a project. How in the world do you do that when your team is thousands of miles away?
Well, it all comes back to the system we've been talking about. You don't need to look over someone's shoulder when you have that steady rhythm of regular calls, those formal audits, and transparent tech that gives you a real-time window into all the work being done.
And of course, in the world of accounting, security is everything. You're dealing with incredibly sensitive client data. So, can you really trust an offshore partner to protect it?
The short answer is yes, and this really goes all the way back to step 1, choosing the right partner. Any professional, reputable offshore firm will have ironclad data security and compliance protocols already in place. It's the absolute cornerstone of their business model.
So, if we were to boil this whole thing down to just one core idea, this is it. Outsourcing isn't about sacrificing quality. Not at all. It's about learning to manage quality in a new, more strategic way through smart partnerships, solid processes, and the right technology.
Which, brings us to one last question for you to think about. After seeing this framework for how to manage quality, you really have to ask yourself, in today's market, is the biggest risk really making this change? Or is the biggest risk being left behind by not making it?